Is anyone even watching by then? All right. I guess we're live again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Little technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we were describing that there's, somewhere in the range of 400 vendor booths that were here. So what we got to see is all the ancillary product lines and considerations for as our new facility license comes online. An amazing array of different people that have already done the R&D, have already done the product lines, have already done all of the states that they're operating in. And what was so surprising is how little they all understood about Michigan and what an opportunity it's going to be for our marketplace.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a second. All I got to say is that anybody that's in the cannabis industry space in any capacity, grower, processor, dispensary, needs to be at one of these events. I mean, this is where you find out exactly what's going on in the industry. This is where you meet everybody that's involved. This is where all of the developing things that are happening. You want to know what's going on at the top level in Colorado, California, Oregon. It's all here. And all of the industry experts are here. Like all of the presentations that they're doing. It's been a fascinating event.
Yeah, and you can join at cannabis-industry.org, and that's the NCIA, and it's definitely a worthwhile cause to join up. But also the way it connected from a networking standpoint and what kind of tight-knit community this really is, and all with the common cause and growth towards improving the medical cannabis industry, and then of course going into the recreational adult use. It's quite an organization that really brings everybody together. And if you're thinking about being in the industry, I couldn't agree more with Bart that the advice is you should join the group, look into what they're doing, because they are all working for you, both at their state level and the national level, towards getting this to be a really great commercial enterprise.
But thankfully, the lawyers at the Cannabis Legal Group were here, and we took full advantage of everything that was going on. We met as many people as we possibly could on behalf of our clients, on behalf of ourselves, just to learn as much as we could. I'm at an information overload, and
So
I can't wait. Seriously, I cannot wait to come back and put this stuff into action.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I mean, literally, we're going to be a different practice.
Truth be told, the passion that we had going into it versus the coming out, just the comfort within the community, it's so encouraging, and it's just so.
And it confirmed a lot of what we believed to be true. Like a lot of things that I had perceived to be, part of this industry, I confirmed here when people confirmed my suspicions and realized that we know what we're doing, and we're going to make sure that we have a lot of people licensed in this industry.
Yeah, and it's so great to really have been able to absorb ourselves around the smaller items, the things that are kind of between the lines of things going on. There was all sorts of regulatory compliance and with regulation, regarding labeling, for instance, or safety. If you're thinking about being a processor, the food industry is involved and the health departments and whatnot. We all knew they were there, and the more we talk with other operators from other states, it's just really... It just reaffirms what we've been building and what we've been trying to advise over the course of our last several Facebook Lives, talking about the needs and the licensing and the details and due diligence. Absolutely reaffirms it and just strengthens the ability for us to help our clients.
All right, let's talk about what we've best and most learned, at least the top 3 things that we've most learned at the event. You ready? You wanna go first?
Sure. So I think that, of course, is involvement in communication within the industry. So I'm going to go back to where I was talking about before. It is absolutely important that our operators are talking with counsel. Our operators are looking at all of the compliance things that we're going to be advising you to do. When we talk about the 280E tax and having to be prepared and how we structure your company so that we can not only take as best advantage of all the way the rules work to limit your tax liability, but also to protect you so that should there be those inevitable audits that everyone in the industry and the operating states today say you're going to have, that we've helped you and situated you in the best optional outcome. So we almost invite it to the point where once it's there, we know it's compliant and that those numbers are going to come out best for our clients.
Let me build on that.
Sure.
One of the things that I have most come to understand from coming from this to this event is that the federal government will be involved in the cannabis industry very, very soon, and sooner than we all think. In one way, certainly in federal regulation with regard to tax and audits. This is definitely going to be an issue. People that aren't doing their taxes properly and they're not following the rules, they're going to come down hard. I think the dispensaries that are in operation now that are not following the rules, that are not taking care of their tax issues, not following 280E, and not being specific with their businesses and their abilities to properly file taxes, that's going to be a big issue that needs to be addressed. In addition to that, though, there's going to be regulation in this industry. I've learned that it's going to be federal regulation in this industry. It's going to be impossible for this industry to survive, really, with any type of longevity without it. The FDA is going to have to be involved with packaging and labeling. The EPA is going to have to get involved with respect to the use of pesticides and growing. The Department of Agriculture is going to get involved. Banking issues are going to have are federal issues.
Insurance.
And there's insurance. The National Cannabis Business Industry Association, them and the Marijuana Policy Project, these guys are already lobbying hard with full-time lobbyists in D.C., making sure that these issues are being addressed. And there's Congress people that are fully on board with this. And the longer that this goes on, within a few years, people here are talking about that the federal oversight is inevitable. And so that's one thing that I've learned.
Yeah, and it's actually so exciting to know that as we bring Michigan online over the course of the next year, that the goal of that is to kind of help form it in a way that is at the compliance level that's most restrictive for everyone. And what I mean by that, of course, is helping our clients set themselves up so that even under any kind of light of scrutiny, of course, that any regulators are going to have, they're above and beyond what's needed. So when we see and we're talking with, companies that are doing safety compliance for kids and child protective equipment. I was handed a Ziploc baggie the other day and told by somebody, try to open it. And I handed it to you. You couldn't open it.
I couldn't open it.
It was locked. And it was amazing how simple it was to open once they showed me the trick. But there's no way a 9-year-old kid is going to open this. Now, this isn't meant for a senior, of course, but there was also other type of delivery manufacturing options for seniors that's out there. So I think one of the other items, just to continue on what I learned, is the maturity of the market outside of our market in terms of the passion not only of the operators at every level of it, but all the ancillaries as well. And that R&D and the work that they've done to really perfect how that product is delivered to a true commercial medical marketplace is what's coming to Michigan. And anyone who's getting into the space has such an amazing opportunity to fill it with already existing products they don't have to invent in their garage. And I don't mean the vapor itself, but how it's delivered, the type of pen it's in, the type of components for packaging for edibles, and how they're labeled. It's just a remarkable experience to see it when you're engulfed in the industry the way we were. And then never mind the educational sessions at this seminar. It's tremendous.
So number 2 for me was the importance upon compliance. It was significantly impressed upon us and discussed about compliance. And it's something that I've certainly read about, a lot about, heard a lot about, but now it's just very clear to me. And what I mean by that is when our regulatory structure gets set up, there's going to be a significant amount of rules and obligations and requirements. And what I know is that, and what we've learned from other marketplaces, is that if you're not compliant at a high degree, they're going to take you out of they're going to take your license. It's going to cost a lot of money in order to get compliant. It's better to start being compliant. It's good to have third-party compliance mandates to hire somebody to ensure that you're compliant now instead of hiring somebody to fix your compliance later. That's going to take a lot of people out of the industry. So a lot of people are going to get licensed and they're not going to remain compliant, and that's going to they're going to end up losing a license, and it's not worth it. So it's going to cost a lot less to start being compliant now and doing the things necessary for quality assurance and quality control in order to be compliant, in order to work with regulators, and in order to, instead of fighting with regulators, in order to remain profitable and remain licensed, instead of fighting from behind, realizing that compliance later is something that needed to be taken care of.
Yeah, and I would wholeheartedly agree, and I think this goes to a lot of what our advice has been for our clients over the last several months, which, as we talk about the business planning, as we talk about, the waste disposal plans and the environmental plans that are going to be needed at a local and then at a state level, compliance rolls through each one of those. And so as much as we've been advising the clients that have, think that there's going to be shortcuts and think that there's going to be ways to save money where investment is going to prevent loss, that's what we're talking about when we talk about this compliance.
Yeah.
A few $1,000s of investment as part of your due diligence, be it for legal services, be it for understanding the R&D and taking the time, effort, and energy to truly know where you're headed as a company. Because if you've been a caregiver and you're trying to escalate up from 72 plants to what might be 1,500 plants, you're going to have 30 employees possibly and need a whole HR division. I think a lot of our clients, as we talk to them, don't appreciate that, that these businesses are going to be regulated within the cannabis space, and at the same time still have to operate as regular businesses. And that was just pushed upon, and as we talk more and more within the industry and how other states are doing it, which just fully reinforces the advice that we've been telling our clients about. We need to get our ducks in a row well in advance of the time that we're going to be filing these applications come December. So
let me go on to my number 3,
sure,
just because
please.
this is actually is really related. The importance of standard operating procedures. It's related to compliance and it's going to be what's necessary for compliance, but written standard operating procedures are going to be necessary for licensure, first of all, in order to demonstrate that your company or your business is going to be able to operate in a consistent fashion. And that's also tied in with employee training. What's super, super important is to understand the human resources aspect of this. There's going to be a lot of people, jobs that are created, a lot of individuals that are going to be working in this industry in Michigan, and they need to be properly trained. They need to be looked out for as far as workers' compensation and all of the employee things that employee laws that need to be, including federal laws, that need to be adhered to. Because as soon as one employee, for instance, gets disgruntled, and then they go out and then make a complaint that they're not being treated properly, that the operator's not mandated by federal law, then that could create a significant problem. So employee training, proper employee training, and standard operating procedures are significantly huge, but also for the purpose of selling a business. A lot of people have their exit strategy they're thinking about, and there's no way that anybody's going to buy a business that doesn't have that standard operating procedure written out, every detail written out, so that, that's part of what you're selling, the process, the standard, the manner in which that your business operates. And so it's gonna take some time and some effort and some money in order to generate these things, but they're gonna be well worth it.
Yeah, and I think earlier on we were talking about how federal law is really kind of evolving, we'll say, is probably the best description. Probably behind the scenes faster than a lot of people are seeing in the front, and through a lot of the negativity that we might hear from the administration, but there's a lot of stuff going on with Congress. But one of the things I think is really key and had come down from every state, which is these companies, despite it not being necessarily allowed by federal law, still have to operate within all other federal legal requirements for an entity to be operating. So we know there's taxes required. We know that there's going to be labor laws that apply towards it. And so as you were just describing all these standard operating procedures, again, it's a reminder that, even though you're a company that's coming into the light out of the dark, and there's still a bit of a shadow that we have to deal with, the part that's illuminated brightly is things that you have to do to remain in compliance with every other element within our corporate society for any business. So you get your permits, you get your licenses, and then you file your taxes and you do all the things in HR and the rest to support that, including FICA taxes and things that payroll will require, because that's what we have to do. I think, though, as we talked a little bit more about other things we learned at this, I think that there's a huge support system and network within the community that is
huge.
It was remarkable, and we've been lawyers for 20 years almost now, and I've been to dozens and dozens of seminars for a lot of different topics, and the amount of passion and ability to bump into anybody and really engage and have something that there might be a nugget for down the line in terms of future business and interest in our state is, once they understand the opportunities that are there, it was quite something. I mean, it was really a fascinating and amazing event.
It was. The industry is strong, way stronger than I'd ever imagined, and there's a lot of connections that we made here, a lot of people to meet, a lot of things that are happening that are going to benefit any person in the industry. There's all types of new technologies that are happening. I ran into people that are doing things now that I never even thought were possible.
Just because they've had the opportunity to, they've actually been able to commercialize, the manufacturing plants in other places. Where in Michigan, it's done in basically a garage or in a small facility. So seeing where the advancement of science has gone with it is just truly remarkable. And these are all value adds that we at the Cannabis Legal Group can offer our clients, of course. And that's our investment in making sure that we're in the right places at the right times with the right connections for our clients. And it's just fully reinforced after the last several days here out in Oakland.
All right, so anything else? You want to talk about the seminar that we just did?
Yeah, well, we had our Everything You Need to Know to Get Licensed in Michigan seminar, which was a fantastic success. We had
amazing success.
Yeah, we had a full room of really motivated operators, a great lineup of speakers, some great feedback, and we really look forward to continuing that opportunity to bring education to our clients and our potential clients, and anyone, really. I mean, this is important that the more information we're out there to share, and do it in a way that is both easy to absorb, because we don't make it too highbrow in terms of the delivery of the info, of course.
Right.
But I think that was really a tremendous success. And I'm pleased and thank you for putting that on for us.
This is our 6th one, and it gets better and better and better. This one particularly was great because it was a full day. There was a ton of information. We brought in speakers from outside of the state. It wasn't just us this time. We brought in Barb Karp, who was amazing. He gave us some advice that was truly helpful. And then Pamela Epstein from California. She is an amazing lawyer as well. I totally want both of those guys back next time if they're available.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, one thing I was told by a number of people is I thought I'd get 1 or 2 things out of this, and I'd walk out with 12 and 15 and understanding how much more there is to know about this industry as we move forward and begin to really bring this industry to Michigan. And it's an exciting time. So super excited and stoked to be here at Cannabis Legal Group doing this for our clients.
Yeah.
And see, that's our
Cannabis Legal Group. We're here for you.
Absolutely. So from Cannabis Craig.
And Barton.
Yes. Thank you very much for watching. Please call us and see our website, cannabislegalgroup.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.